Hey guys, well, happy Friday to everybody. It's the end of another week. Weeks are really flying by here. You can see I got some batteries that I'm charging up and going to put away for the winter. Like I say, I don't know if it helps or not, but every fall when it gets cold, I pull the batteries out of all my equipment just about and store them inside in the warm. And I usually have a trickle charger on. This battery charger is it's a little bit older. It's seen better days, but it works good with the 2 amp maintainer. So I'll have a whole I think I figured I'll have 9 or 10 batteries stored inside over the winter, just to keep them out of the cold and try to give them a little bit more life. But like I say, I don't know if it works or not, but it's something that I always did, so why break tradition? So anyway, it's Friday, so that means it's Friday story time. This Friday, I just have a quick story. I'll go back to a farming story for this Friday. When I had worked for a farmer years ago, we had a real problem with kids on four-wheelers. I'm sure many of you guys that farm and know exactly what I'm talking about. High school age kids that have four-wheelers, and most of them live in town and don't have anywhere to ride, but mom and dad buy them a four-wheeler and they just go wherever they want because they have a four-wheeler and they're going to ride out in the woods and in the country and on farms and through fields and stuff like that. We had a gang of kids on four-wheelers. There must have been, I don't know, 10, 15 of them. And every so often they'd come out to the country and they would be just driving through the fields. Now, sometimes of the year it doesn't bother you. Over the winter it doesn't bother you. Early in the spring it doesn't bother you. But when it's the dead of summer and you're in an alfalfa field and you're driving down alfalfa or hay and turning real sharp and skidding the rear wheels out, and you're basically tearing alfalfa right out of the ground and making a mess. They pretty well made a mess of the one field. It was on the neighbor's property from the farm I worked on that they had done this, and they did a little bit to ours. So an old farm trick, and this neighbor that had lived next to us, he was a little goofy, but he was always entertaining. An old farm trick is to get yourself a 2x4 or a 2x3 or even a 2x6, just so it's 2x lumber, and you take some nails and you nail them right through. And the best was to nail them every which way, every angle. So no matter which way somebody would drive, you got a nail sticking up. So this goofy neighbor decided he's going to shut these kids down once and for all. As far as I know, he called the police, and they said, well, if they could trying to catch people on four-wheelers isn't always the easiest for police, because police don't really go off-road some places that four-wheelers can go. So he was going to take matters into his own hands, and he made up a bunch of these, 8 foot long or better, with nails sticking every which way. And then once you have basically spike strips, you go out to your dirt lanes and you bury the 2x4 so that all that is sticking up is maybe about that much of the nail. So when people trespass, or if you have kids on four-wheelers or people you don't want there, they're going to run it over and get 4 flat tires. That was the goal. That's the aim, to flatten all 4 tires. Basically, so they get frustrated and don't come back is the end goal. So he made all these up. And it was kind of hit and miss when they'd be back with the four-wheelers. He never caught anybody, and we never knew that he got anybody. But that fall, he decided he was going to go and scout some of his fields to see how the crops were coming along. So he gets in his old Ford pickup truck that he had, and he's out driving around, scouting the fields and checking for damage. And doesn't take too long that he's going down the road that he realizes the truck is turning pretty hard. He's having a hard time steering the thing, and it's just running weird. Long story short, he forgot about his 2x4 four-wheeler traps and drove over one of his own tire flattening devices, and he flattened 4 tires on his on his farm pickup truck. And basically that was the end of the old farm trick of the homemade spike strips to stop trespassers. So yeah, it's just a quick story for today. I know I laughed for quite a few hours when when he stopped by and told us what had happened. And he's one of those type of guys that you just have to know him to realize that would be something that he would definitely definitely do. But yeah, that was one of the funnier stories that I had when I was working on the farm. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sure, like I say, you guys at farm, you know what damage people can do with four-wheelers. And it's not just kids. You have grown men that live in a town or even in a city, and they buy a fancy new side-by-side or four-wheeler and basically think that they can drive anywhere because they have an off-road vehicle. Nobody's immune to it. I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I say, you're dealing with all different kinds of people, and like I said, most times farmers wouldn't mind if it's winter time and they want to ride. There's nothing to give them permission to let them ride through empty cornfields, but it always seems like they love running down hay and driving through hay fields and basically just causing problems. So doesn't give them much credibility, and kind of has a lot of farmers always trying to combat trespassers, but I don't know, that's the world we live in. So people, most people do whatever they want anyway. But yeah, happy Friday to everybody. Everybody have a good weekend, and I will talk to you again tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and thank you to all 500 plus subscribers. I just saw that I was at the 500 mark. I'm really grateful. I'm glad that I'm still making interesting videos. Every once in a while, I kind of get the impression that the videos are getting kind of stale or boring. It just seems like it's a bad time of the year to make farming videos when there's not much farming going on. But as long as you guys are still interested, we'll keep this going. So, like I say, I want to say thank you to everybody. I just started this channel in the middle of June, and very happy with the response so far. So if you guys are still watching and still getting subscribers, we'll still keep making videos. And I hope you enjoy it. So have a good weekend, guys.